Here's my experience, and I'm not saying that this is the ultimate thing because I'm not sure that I'm right about this for everyone, but I want to share it anyway because it's pretty profound. My experience is that these ways in which we avoid ourselves, and I'm not saying we're doing that consciously because it really isn't conscious. So what I mean avoid ourselves is that we abandon our true voice in a sense. Instead, we want to use these strategies as a way of trying to get our needs met or to protect ourselves rather than being genuine, because we couldn't be genuine when we were young, right? So you have to think about this. If you're a child at the mercy of your parents or whoever, you don't have a voice, not especially if they're abusive, right? If they're not abusive, you do. And so you had to bury or not even just, you lost touch with what your authentic desires were or your authentic sort of expression is, because you had to survive. Part of what these attachment styles represent was a strategy to survive that the cost of it was you had to pay with your authentic voice. You had to suppress it and put it away. My experience is that when we find ourselves being caught up in these patterns, what's missing is an authentic expression. It's a substitute for the authentic expression. It usually has more to do with us abandoning ourselves than anyone else doing anything to us once we're an adult. And we tend to project that out onto the world. So let me give you some concrete examples because I don't want to be too abstract here. And I'll just talk about my personal experience. My personal experience is that when my behavior in this realm of the insecure attachment flares up, it's because I'm not moving towards that which would be best for me from my own initiative. And so I'm looking for a replacement for that in someone else. That's the neediness. Now, this isn't totally true. I'm not saying it's 100% true, but I do think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that we take on the role of our neglector or abuser in our nervous system after they're gone. The person that abuses us most in our adult life is typically us to ourselves. Now, that's not always true. If you're if someone's in a bad situation, I recommend that you face that as best you can. But typically what I find is that we take on the role of the abuser and neglector. And part of it's in the form of these attachment styles instead of moving towards that which we truly want in our heart, right? So that, it's kind of like you're being called forth to be the best person you can be in your life, to share your gifts with the world, which is very overwhelming, by the way. And so it's easier to fall into a pattern of focusing on someone else as the cause of your lack of movement forward, rather than the fact that you're afraid to be genuine, to go into those genuine places. Because the thing that's difficult is that when you do that, you have to encounter the feelings that you felt when you were young. So in other words, to get to your best self, you have to actually go into the underworld, I like to call it, and be with those experiences because they're in the way, right? These experiences that are unresolved, they're in the way of you being your full self. They're like hidden bits of yourself that are buried or fragmented that have to be kind of reintegrated and healed. That's something that we want you to keep in mind. If you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe. You can look forward to more videos about how to overcome chronic illness and chronic pain.